What's up, everyone? It's Matt Mrozik, aka MVM397, with another work in progress video on the Sinanju 1/72 scale. So I'm not sure what anyone else is doing for New Year's Eve, but we're staying home and it's quiet, so I'm gonna keep working on this sucker while I'm on a roll. So I just showed you guys how to do the reverse wash, and I spent the other day laying down my base color. This is the base color for the Sinanju. This is Mr. Color's GX Red, and it's kind of a really nice middle tone red. You see I've got a nice finish here. I tell you what, I'm really pleased with my prep work on this kit. It's actually some of the best I've ever done, I think. I see very few little minor imperfections here and there that I didn't see when I was wet sanding and stuff, so it just looks really, I'm impressed with myself. Let's just say that with my prep work, it's the best I've ever done. With each kit I do, I try to, go to the next level, and this one, it definitely so far is there as far as my prep work. My panel lines are really sharp and defined. As I said, I rescribed those as I was going through. They're actually so deep that the red paint didn't even get into the panel lines, which I almost thought of doing a new technique, which is not really new, but it's if everyone's familiar with AKO Creations. He was a resin kit manufacturer a couple years ago, about 8 years ago. Conversion kits, some of the best resin conversion kits that were available, and I have a few of them still, and they're very good. But anyway, his paintings were amazing, and what I loved about his paintings were his panel lines. There was something about them that just looks so natural. And I asked him, well, how do you do your panel lines? And the way he did his panel lines is he would rescribe them, and he would actually do them. He would do the primer, and then he would do his panel lines before he did any paint. So he would apply the panel lining, and then he would paint. So with that deep panel line, with it already done, what you're doing is, you're getting a little bit of that color in there. So it's not a stark black panel line or a stark gray panel. It looks really natural. And this kit would have been a good test bed for that, to try that technique where you panel line before you paint. And I think in my next kit I'm going to try that, because I always loved his panel lines. There's just something about the way they looked that was really impressive. The best I've ever seen. So anyway, I'm going to do, this is going to be a two-tone red. And I've got a couple test colors here. I'm not sure if you can see it, but I painted the whole spoon this color, GX Red, and then I painted a couple patches. And initially I thought I was going to go with this red at the bottom here. This is Mr. Color Russet. And it's just a little too similar to the base color. It's a little more rusty looking. Got a little more maroon in it, so a little purple. And then I tried adding a little bit of black to that russet, and then it went too far. And then I tried some Plamo Color bright red. So I think I'm going to use this as my secondary color. And I think it'll be a real nice pop. I've got one bottle of this bright red left, so I think it's enough to do what I need to do. I hope so, because if I run out, I'm kind of screwed. So, but this is the main color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and pick out little panels here and there to mask off, just to break it up a little bit. So I'm starting off with the skirts, and I have all four of them out here because I want to be consistent as far as the amount of secondary color I have within those skirts. So where's the other? Should be over here. Oh, here it is, right in front of me. So I have all six of them out. Actually, yeah, four, but these take up two pieces. These will go into here eventually. So my initial thought on the side skirt, which is this one, was to paint this whole piece the secondary color, but then I decided that that's just too much. I don't want that bright red. So I think I'm gonna do, and this is how I paint. I just kind of wing it. That's how I paint everything. I wing everything. What I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick out probably, I'm thinking on this one, it'd be a good idea to maybe do this edge right here. And then on this one, maybe pick out these two center panels here, because I'm also going to go back on a few panels, add some black. So like this center part, I think we're going to do black later, just to break it up a little bit. So I've done this before in all my other builds, but since we're here, we're going to show you how to mask. And the tools you'll need are your masking tape, obviously. I've got an X-Acto blade with a brand new blade, and the only blades I recommend, and this is from Jason Eaton, are the X-Life X-Acto blades. Make sure they say X-Life, because if you just buy your typical X-Acto blade from the hobby store, they're going to rust, they're going to get dull real fast, and you know it's an X-Life because it's got this blue tinge to it. This will stay sharper a lot longer, and they will not rust. You can get a whole box. This is a box of 100. I think like 20 bucks on Amazon. I bought 2 boxes a year ago, and I've used less than half of this. I mean, I've gone through probably 20 blades, so I've got enough for a really long time. And then I use a skewer of some sort with a dull tip, so I can kind of outline what I'm doing. So let's start off with this one that we thought we're going to do the edge. So pretty simple. I'm going to take off a nice big piece of tape, and I have come to learn, because I used to not do this, and this is one of those things where you just kind of taking your kit to the next level is, I've started always wearing gloves when I handle any painted part. I used to not do that, but I have lately, and my issues with fingerprints and dirt and stuff on my paint have been reduced greatly. So what we're going to do here is we're going to just take this piece of tape, and I'm just going to kind of follow this line. It doesn't have to be exact, because the next step is going to take care of anything that's not. Actually, you know what? Since that's a curved surface, we're not going to even worry about following it. We're just going to cover it like this. Okay. And that's actually too big of a piece of tape. I use my cutting board a lot too to cut tape. As you can see, there's tape all over it. So we take a piece, and maybe we'll do it like this. We'll line up this edge right here for now. In this particular panel where our masking does wrap around to the other side, so this whole lip will be that bright red. Oh, and I did this before, but as always, do a tape test. So put some tape on, rip it off. I did one earlier, so I'm not worried about it. So we're gonna just kind of line this up on that edge. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna push down there real nice. We're gonna use our skewer, and this has a blunt tip. You don't want to use a sharp tip, and we're gonna go through and we're gonna outline those panel lines. And we're just gonna give it a little push into the panel line. And that will make sure that our blade, we know where to cut. And we're going to go ahead and take another little piece. And we're just going to kind of overlap that a little bit, like that. And take that skewer and just kind of push it to outline the panel line. And again, I'm not going to bore you with doing a bunch of pieces. The process is pretty much the same. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take our brand new blade and just very carefully, don't use any pressure, let the blade do the work. And you're just going to drag it in that panel line. Now if I try to go in there and I try to force this blade, there's a good chance that I could slip. So that's why I don't use any force. I just let the blade do the work. I'm just going to cut that off like that. And then oops, that didn't cut. Oh, I didn't cut that line. It's like, why is that lifting up? Because I didn't cut it. That's why. Just like that. Okay. And then I always go back and just give it a little push again, just to kind of seal it. And we're gonna go ahead and wrap this around, and we're gonna do the same process. Don't worry if it's doesn't line up. We're gonna go in here and we're gonna just follow that panel line with our skewer. And rescribing your panel line, this is the reason why I spend so much time Rescribing panel lines on these big kits, because after you prime and paint and sand and prime and paint, they get filled in. And you know, when I first started doing these big kits, I didn't do that, and I learned pretty quickly that it's worth the extra time up front to rescribe. It saves yourself a ton of headaches later when you're trying to mask and do panel lines. Okay, so just like that. So now we got that nice sharp line right there, and then we're gonna do the same thing right here. Again, just using this blade and letting the blade do the work.
Oh my gosh, the village is in such shambles right now. Oh my god!
Oh, and a pair of tweezers is always handy too. I forgot to mention that, tweezers. Just to grab those small pieces of tape that my big fat fingers can't grab. Okay, and then so that front side's done. Once we get the edge done, then we'll fill in the rest of the area with bigger pieces of tape. Right now we're just worried about just getting along the edge, the outline of the panel that we're trying to mask. Now I'm noticing right here that my panel line got a little filled in with some paint right there. So we're going to just kind of make it work. And then we're going to, again, use the adult skewer. You can use a toothpick, whatever it is. I just find a skewer that's dull. It's got a dull tip. Again, I'm just going to follow that panel line. And the blade, if you don't use any pressure and you don't force the blade, it'll follow that panel line all by itself. If you try to force it, you can slip out of the panel line. You won't even notice it. You won't even know you've done it because it's such a sharp blade. You can't tell the difference if you're cutting resin or tape. Okay. Pull that out, just like that. And then we're going to use the same piece, this little leftover piece right here, to finish masking off this little edge right here. I know it's not on camera because I'm right-handed the way this is set up, but all right, so that side's all outlined. Really neat. That will paint up perfectly. So my client asked for kind of that traditional two-tone red that you see quite a bit. I love that look. I haven't done one on a kit of mine, but it's just it's a color scheme that never fails. Two-tone red, little hints of black here and there, and some metallics. It's just a really classic looking red color scheme for a Sinanju or a Sazabi or any suit like that. Okay, we're going to do the same process on this side. So I'm going to give you a little example here of where I got a little overzealous with my paint. I'm going to get my scribing tool out. So right here, this panel line right here got filled in a little bit with paint. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to very, very lightly, since this is fresh paint, I'm going to take my scribing tool and I'm not going to use any pressure. I'm just going to go in there and try to refine that just a little more. I'm not putting any pressure on it, because otherwise I'll lift paint. So that helps just a little bit. And I'll help just enough to outline it, so I know where to put my blade. Alright, get our skewer again. This will probably be a pretty long video. Masking videos are usually pretty long. Because again, it's a slow process. Alright, so we're going to come in here. This is the line I just rescribed right here. And it's really well defined, I can see it. Beautiful, worked out perfect. So I'm hoping that the masking on this will not be nearly as intensive as it was for this guy's Kshatriya that I did, was it last year? When did I finish that kit? I think I finished it towards the end of last year. I took it to Wonderfist this past year. That was a ton of masking. That was 4 shades of green. It was a lot. But this one I don't think will be as intensive. Alright, I'm just going to clean up that edge with my skewer. Make sure it's in there in the panel line really nice. And we'll continue. Around to the back side. So I'm doing this one just a little bit different, and it's okay as long as the results are all the same. And this way that I just did this piece actually works a little bit better. So now for the next one it'll be easier to mask, because I've found it a little easier method to the madness. I know you can't see what I'm doing right now, but this is the way I have to get in there.
You're too late, Lord Athnow. Gareth is now a member of the Jury of 9. He faithfully serves me. What? You obviously have a bunch of stuff. Let him go.
Okay.
Zane does not control my actions. He guides me down the right path.
I'm pretty excited to see what this is going to look like in the end. I have in my head I know it's going to look like, but it'll be nice to see it when it's all done. So I tip it, for the most part, when I'm painting, I don't have a plan. I just kind of go with it. But it is helpful when I have a client who tells me what he wants, and then it's just a matter of applying that concept. So I know what I want to do, so it's just a matter of doing it. So it goes a little bit quicker. And again, here's a spot where my panel line got a little filled in with paint, so I'm gonna go back there and I'm just gonna real lightly rescribe it. And I gotta be real careful because this paint I'm scribing on top of. So you can see there, that white line, that's where I just rescribed that line where it got filled in with paint. Even though it's the back side, I want to be careful I don't mess it up. So we're coming up on 20 minutes, and this is one piece. So you can see this again is a slow process. Use my X-Acto knife a lot to hold the tape because I can really get it where I want.
Darling, Mama, why don't you go again? Go all, look, the whole first season again? Yeah, no.
There you go.
Get up here. Yes. You.
Alright. This piece is almost done. It does go fast when I'm not trying to explain what I'm doing too, so.
There you go, baby.
So what I'll do is, another thing when you're masking, it's always a good idea to try to paint your piece as soon as you can and get the tape off. What's the last kit I did? The Garadoga. I left some tape on, even though it's Tamiya tape. I had some paint residue and I was kind of freaking out. But after I top coated it, went away. So I'm gonna go load up some of that bright red in my paintbrush, or not my paintbrush, my airbrush. I'll spray this. I'll let it sit for a little bit, and then I'll pull the tape off. So maybe I'll do that, and I'll come back and show it to you so you can see the results. Okay, so now that's all done. I'll get some big tape. I had a big roll of tape. What do I do with it? It must be in the spray booth. I think it's in there for when I was doing my color test. Hey kids, turn that down a little bit, please. My kids are watching some Minecraft videos downstairs and it's blaring up here. Did you hear me?
I don't know why it's so loud.
Keep the controller next to you at all times, please. Whenever music turns on downstairs on the TV, it's very, very loud, and it's very, very annoying because it blares upstairs. The way my work area is set up, it's anyway, it's just very loud up here. So I'm just gonna take some big pieces of tape and just cover the rest of the piece so I don't get any overspray. And I've learned the hard way, just cover the whole piece. Don't be lazy and try to just cover a little area of it. I've burnt myself so many times with, oh, just cover this little area and it won't be a big deal. And then I go to take off the tape and I've got overspray somewhere that I didn't want it. So I bite the bullet and I use the tape. In the grand scheme of things, tape is cheap compared to everything else that you spend on doing one of these kits. So just do it. So I'm gonna go spray this with some of that bright red, and then I'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like. So this video, right now I'm at like 23 minutes. I've been talking a lot, but so this piece, you know, I'd say this one piece took me about, I would say 10-15 minutes to do that one piece. Okay, so I'll come back and show you what it looks like. Okay, so I went and sprayed some of the bright red on here. I went ahead and hit it with a hairdryer so it would dry real quick so I could take the tape off. So this is where your tweezers come in real handy. So you can grab the tape. I tell you what, I say this all the time, but so this bright red is a Playmo color paint, and I love the Playmo paints. I wish that Kyle, the guy that owned the company, would have been a legit businessman, because if he was still around and still selling paints and honoring orders and stuff, I would definitely pretty much be, I would have switched over 100% completely to his paints. I just love the way they spray. They are pretty thin, but that's one of the advantages to them. They go on so slick. Way smoother than Mr. Colors. I can't get Mr. Color to spray this smooth as his paints do. It's too bad, because the price was good for the amount of paint you got. and it's just really, it's high quality. So I'm not sure if he's still around or if anyone has even tried to order anything from him, but I just know a long time ago when he was trying to start up, he was not being very cool to a bunch of people who were trying to order stuff from him. But anyway, I'm not gonna keep talking about him because he's gone. I just love the paint. All right. So this is a long video for one piece, but just gives you an idea of the process that I go through. And your X-Acto comes in handy. Oops. Sorry, I'm not even in camera. Your X-Acto comes in handy too to get underneath the edge of the pieces. Just be really careful. Just go slow. Take your time. Just making sure I don't have anything on my glove. All right. Yeah, it's looking good. So I think you can see the color difference. The bright red, the bright red is bright. It's a brighter, more vibrant red. So it's subtle, but it's going to be nice. I think it's going to look really, really good. And then when I throw in a little bit of black here and there, man, it should really pop. So another thing I'm doing different on this kit, which I really haven't done it before, is my clients requested a semi-gloss finish. So there it is. It looks really, really good. Hopefully you can see that color difference, but I think it's gonna look really, really nice. And then all these little details like this little piece right here, I'll mask it off and then I'll go a metallic of some sort. But while I'm doing it, might as well, this will just be a really long video. Feel free to watch. I'm gonna go ahead and mask this piece off because it's part of the skirt. And I'm gonna mask off this panel and this panel. I'm gonna make those the bright red. And then eventually this, I'll make this centerpiece black. So let's mask those off real quick. This should be an easy mask job because I'm not wrapping around on the back side. Anytime you have to wrap around, whoops, sorry, knocked my camera over. Anytime you have to wrap around to the back side of a piece, it just takes longer because you're doing double the masking. So this one's pretty easy. This will be a little different. I won't do the whole cutting technique. I'll actually just outline the panel with tape. You know what? I take that back. I'm going to do the... See, I change my mind all the time, even in the middle of a video. Go ahead and cover the whole panel. We'll see if this method works. Sometimes I have to change it. I thought this might work, but the tape sprinkling, so it may not be as good a method as just outlining. Let's see. There we go. I think this will work. All right, let's see how this works.
15 years? That's right. No. Wait. You have to be kidding me. 15 years? No. We have to get back home. Now.
Again, not using any pressure, letting the blade do the work. I'm not sure if this is in focus or not, I can't tell. Alright. Let's see how we did. There we go. Nice. That's perfect. So I'm going to mask off this other one, and then I'll spray and I'll come back. Alright, so we got that sprayed. Let's unmask it, see what it looks like, and then we'll wrap this video up because it's another 30-minute video of me yapping my gums and masking, which is always fun. So let's take a look. So one thing I don't do, and I know a lot of guys do, they'll reuse their tape. I don't do that because, again, it's got paint on it, and I'd rather just not risk getting that paint on something. So I know, again, in the grand scheme of things for large projects like this, tape is inexpensive. So, and there it is. So that looks really, really sharp. And then I'm not going to stick them together because it's not completely dry, but once they are together, that'll look really good. Oops, that's not the right piece. That one hadn't been painted yet. I'm like, that doesn't look right. So that'll look really, really sharp. And then when I do that third panel in black and that little metallic bit, man, it's going to look really, really good. So I'm going to put those to the side, and we're going to keep doing this process on the rest of the pieces, and it'll take me a couple days to do that. But anyway, thanks for watching as always, and I said I want to have another video till next year, but I have one. So last video for 2016. I hope next year will be very productive. I should be wrapping up commissions for this client next year unless he has me do more. I've got one more kit I'm waiting to hear back if he wants me to do or not, which is the 1/48 high new. I actually have the kit here. He has yet decided if he wants me to build it or not. But anyway, as always, thanks for watching. Have a happy new year. Be safe, have fun, and we'll catch you guys on the flip side. Thanks.